Welcome to This Week from Blue Mountain Broadcasting. Thanks for tuning in for the show today. I'm your host, Lynelle Ellis, and I'm so glad that you've joined us because I am going to be sharing with you a bit about our ABC Christian Bookstore, and my guest will be Chrissy Kinney, who's the branch manager there. This is not, we did an interview a while back, but this is a new one with some updates that you definitely want to find out about. So stay tuned for that and also for station news at the end of the program. We'll begin now, though, with our devotional thought. Have you ever wondered what Philip said to the Ethiopian? You know the story I'm talking about, the story from the book of Acts? Remember that story? The disciple Philip, and he meets the Ethiopian eunuch on the way. And here's the story from Acts chapter 8. Now, an angel of the Lord said to Philip, "Rise and go toward the south, to the road that goes down from Jerusalem to Gaza. This is a desert place." And he rose and went. And there was an Ethiopian, a eunuch, a court official of Candace, queen of Ethiopians, who was in charge of all her treasure. He had come to Jerusalem to worship and was returning seated in his chariot, and he was reading the prophet Isaiah. And the Spirit said to Philip, "Go over and join the chariot." So Philip ran to him and heard him reading Isaiah the prophet and asked, "Do you understand what you are reading?" And he said, "How can I, unless someone guides me?" And he invited Philip to come up and sit with him. Now, the passage of the scripture that he was reading was this: "Like a sheep he was led to the slaughter, and like a lamb before its shearers is silent, so he opened not his mouth. In his humiliation justice was denied him. Who can describe his generation? For his life was taken away from the earth." And the eunuch said to Philip, "About whom, I ask you, does the prophet say this? About himself or about someone else?" Then Philip opened his mouth, and beginning with this scripture, he told him the good news about Jesus. And as they were going along the road, they came to some water, and the eunuch said, "See, here is water. What prevents me from being baptized?" And he commanded the chariot to stop. And they both went down into the water, Philip and the eunuch, and he baptized him. And when they came up out of the water, the Spirit of the Lord carried Philip away. And the eunuch saw him no more and went on his way rejoicing. That passage that the Ethiopian was reading, where's that from? Yes, it is from the 53rd chapter of Isaiah, Isaiah 53. I was reading that passage recently and once again found myself in awe of the beauty of the writing, the depth of the message that is there in Isaiah 53, the message about the Messiah, and the wonder that I sensed at the accuracy of the prophecy. It's just a wonderful passage on so many levels. I wish that we had recorded the words that Philip used as he explained Isaiah 53 to the Ethiopian. I wish that had been recorded for us. Wouldn't you like to hear him explain how Jesus fulfilled all the prophecies from the Old Testament about the Messiah? We just don't have that exposition recorded for us. But you know what we can do? We can go to that passage in Isaiah. We can go there ourselves and read deeply and apply this beautiful prophecy to the life of Jesus as it is recorded for us in the first 4 books of the New Testament. And maybe that's a better way for us to understand. We certainly haven't been left in the dark. We have the book of Isaiah preserved for us, and we have the story of Jesus carefully recorded. We can read and study and make those connections for ourselves. So let's take a look at Isaiah 53 for a few minutes and see what we find there. This will just be an introductory reading, and so you'll probably want to return to it soon and dig deep on your own. Here's Isaiah 53, starting with verse 2. "For he grew up before him like a young plant and like a root out of dry ground. He had no form or majesty that we should look at him, and no beauty that we should desire him. He was despised and rejected by men, a man of sorrows and acquainted with grief. And as one from whom men hide their faces, he was despised, and we esteemed him not. Surely he has borne our griefs and carried our sorrows. Yet we esteemed him stricken, smitten by God, and afflicted. But he was pierced for our transgressions. He was crushed for our iniquities. Upon him was the chastisement that brought us peace. And with his wounds we are healed. All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned every one to his own way. And the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all. He was oppressed and he was afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. Like a lamb that is led to the slaughter, and like a sheep that before its shearers is silent, so he opened not his mouth. By oppression and judgment he was taken away. And as for his generation, who considered that he was cut off out of the land of the living, stricken for the transgression of my people? And they made his grave with the wicked and with a rich man in his death, although he had done no violence, and there was no deceit in his mouth. Yet it was the will of the Lord to crush him. He put him to grief. When his soul makes an offering for guilt, he shall see his offspring. He shall prolong his days. The will of the Lord shall prosper in his hand. Out of the anguish of his soul he shall see and be satisfied. By his knowledge shall the righteous one, my servant, make many to be accounted righteous, and he shall bear their iniquities. Therefore I will divide him a portion with the many, and he shall divide the spoil with the strong, because he poured out his soul to death and was numbered with the transgressors. Yet he bore the sin of many and makes intercession for the transgressors. That's Isaiah 53, verses 2 through 12. And yes, it is a beautiful prophecy. So I invite you to dig into it more deeply on your own and in your own devotional time this week. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. Welcome back. Joining me now is Chrissy Kenny, who is the branch manager for the ABC Christian Bookstore here in College Place. And you're not unfamiliar, I think, to our viewers. You were a guest on the show not too long ago. Just glad to have you back because it's time for some updates.
Thank you so much for having me, Lynelle.
Yeah, we have several things we want to talk about today that are going on. But first of all, I know that you have some sort of pardon our construction signs up at the ABC. So what's happening there?
Yeah, so at the ABC, when I took over end of April, we had the store hours from 10 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And to be honest, when you start managing retail, that's a big job. And it's a bigger job than I originally realized it was. But during April to now, I've been working on taking a look at the complete process of the store. How does it work? How could it function better? Trying to learn as much and as fast as possible. Because frankly, I don't know, I think the general population would agree that God is coming soon and we don't have time to waste. And so we've got to be able to operate efficiently in order to best serve our Christian brothers and sisters and hopefully get the word out there and spread the word about God.
So there's been some reorganization of how things are in the store, I would guess?
Yes, trying to really spotlight where Daniel and Revelation prophecy books are, where books on prayer are, where we can find our Bible studies, where we can find our Bibles, and then we have our general Christian living, true stories, children's sections. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So I obviously need to come into the store again and take a look and see what's changed and what's different. And that's an invitation to all of you to come and visit, see what's changing. Now, I know that you have some books here with you today that are important to us historically as a group of Christian believers, as the Seventh-day Adventist. What did you bring along with you?
So these 3 books here are from the Adventist Pioneer Library. This one is The Cross and Its Shadow by Stephen Haskell.
And he is one of the pioneers.
He is one of the pioneers. I also have Lessons on Faith by A.T. Jones and E.J. Wagner, and then Daniel and Revelation by Uriah Smith. And I've sold out currently of one on the Sabbath, but I don't know, I just get so excited thinking about Ellen White. What was she, 16? When she started off on her vision with, I guess, gathering visions, and on her journey with God, hand in hand with him.
Yes.
And so we're talking about some young people that were really gifted and made the decision to get connected and stick with God. And look at what happened. We have this whole church to look back on. So I think it'd be really fun to dig back into these books and figure out, what did they get excited about? What was their thoughts like? What was the process of coming to that conclusion? So these are just some fun books. We have a whole section on Adventist Pioneer Library at the store, and there's some good books in that pile.
I think what's neat about it, and we encounter this sometimes when we're doing academic study as well, what's neat about this is what we would call, primary sources, like original stuff. These are the people who were the ones who got excited, who actually wrote it. This isn't someone writing about them. This is their own words. And to be able to have that, and to be able to go back and read their own words and sense their own excitement about what they were learning and how they were growing in their relationship with God. It's a great resource.
And then these ones, I don't know if you want to feel the cover. These
Sure.
have been so beautifully redone.
They
are
have.
engaging and captivating, and so
Really high quality, very nice.
They're inviting. They're inviting to read, to hold, to interact with. And then I like that the font, it's not tiny.
Right, I can even see that one.
So that makes a difference. We have a large audience of people that need to have large print these days.
That's me now. I would not have to wear my reading glasses to read this book. That's so great. It's really good. Even when I make notes for this show, I'm having to make it a little larger than I used to. So and I wouldn't call them large print, but like the standard large print, but pretty good size, very nice.
Good print. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you have that collection there, and now you've also been starting something new that we talked about last time you were on the show. You were saying that one of your dreams, one of the things you wanted to do at the ABC Christian Bookstore was to have some authors who've written books that you have there actually come into the store. So that's starting to happen, right?
It is, and we've just finished an author signing with Steve Wohlberg. We were very excited to have him on the show. Coming up, we have a new upcoming YouTube evangelist, Dustin Peslin, coming, and he has quite a following. His primary concern is he was raised Christian, but then converted to Adventism, and so he has a burning desire to share the truth.
With other Christians and other people,
with anyone that will listen. And so this book is the 7 messages to prepare you for the soon return of Jesus. And what I like about this book is the topics are ones that you would expect to find in a Bible study, and you can sit here and read it. He was a teacher before he became an evangelist, and so everything is laid out very clearly and easily to understand. And at the end of each section, there's a little QR code. So you can just go straight from reading about it to watching more about what this content is talking about. And I really like that he does that for each of the 7 messages that he's prepared in this book. And these books, incidentally, are on sale this month through the end of October for $6.99. But
that's really good.
Yeah. Dustin will be at the bookstore on October 30th for another author signing.
Okay, so that's something to mark your calendars about. October 30. Dustin Peslin, who I like how you said, he's an evangelist on YouTube, so he's one of those influencers on YouTube. And it's neat how he's tying together his book with the presentations he has visual as well, with those codes, using multi types of media to be able to connect with people.
Yeah, I know that I'm a visual learner, so I definitely appreciate having something that I can sit down and read and underline, because I will take out colors. I have lots of colors with which to mark up my Bible, and actually I write things out from the Bible, then I mark it up, but I would do that in this, and then I could go and listen to it, and I could listen to it while I make dinner or fold laundry and kind of watch along with it, because he's also put a lot of work into making very engaging content. So it's kind of cinematic, and I think it would appeal to that harder to reach younger generation. So
Very good. Okay. So again, October 30, what time?
it'll be from 10 a.m. to noon, and that's a Sunday.
Yes, which is not your normal hours at the ABC. So we're not used to going there on Sunday.
Right, but we wanted to make sure and catch a time when everyone, if they felt like coming, could come. You know, unless they're out of town, the pre-planned things, but the general audience, I think if they want to come, they can, and I would highly recommend coming to meet Dustin, talking with him, and learning from him why he's so passionate about this ministry.
And he's doing book signing, or he'll sign this for people and just be there to talk with them, maybe if they have questions or whatever. Yeah, that's really fun. And do you have some others lined up, or you're hoping to line up some more?
Yes, we have another author lined up, Brian Shipowek. He's a local author, and he will be on, I believe it's November 3rd. If you all pay attention to Facebook, I'll have everything marked on Facebook and also on the billboard by the street, which will have those dates and times. And there's another local author to the northwest that I'm hoping to line up, and it's a bigger name.
Okay, we won't say yet.
Yes,
you told me, but
right.
sorry, we can't tell you till she lines them up.
It has to get confirmed. So I'm really excited because when I read something, sometimes I have more questions, especially on something as important as the Bible and themes related to that. So what better way to really bring the thing that you just read that you loved and enjoyed and go and engage with the author, like really pick their brain. What were you thinking about this? I love those times, those
it's
moments.
really fun, and especially also if you have a book that has really meant a lot to you, it's maybe helped you in your spiritual journey, meeting the person who wrote that and being able to have a few words with them. This is really nice. It's really nice to get that connection, and even to be able to say to them how much you appreciated, you know, what they wrote and what it meant to you. I've had that opportunity a couple of times, and it's really, really fun. Yeah. So back to Ryan. So Ryan Shipowek, I go to church with Ryan, and I didn't know he had written a book. So this is kind of exciting. It's a personal testimony?
It's his personal testimony, kind of some of the challenges that he's encountered and how clinging to Jesus have helped him overcome. And I think it's a really practical application, because even if you don't have the same challenges that he had, you can see the correlation of walking with Jesus, keeping your eyes on Jesus, and how Jesus will guide you through.
Really great. Sounds good. So we'll have we think it's November 3, probably. But we'll check our calendars. But yes, so another opportunity to meet with him. Okay, well, it really sounds like we've got some very important resources that you're going to be highlighting over the next several months. Are there specific sales that happen month by month?
Yes, and I'm glad you asked. This month, we tend to have, as Christians, a really hard time trying to figure out what to do for the month of October, because so much of the world focuses on Halloween and things you can do, and that's one reason why I was really pleased that Dustin offered October 30 as a day to come and do a book signing. But all month this month we have prophecy, Daniel and Revelation books. Most of those are 15% off, I believe, and then we also have Ellen White materials that are on sale for 25% off. So that's all month.
That's pretty significant.
It is,
yeah.
Especially with the cost increases with printing and paper and ink and labor supplies. Everything has gone up, so I'm really happy that we have those resources on sale. And then in November, we will have, well, with the focus on Thanksgiving, we'll have some special cookbooks on sale that can help people make healthier alternatives to their Thanksgiving meal. And then in December, we'll have some gift items on sale as well. So
definitely marking each of these months. And right now, it's still October, so this is a wonderful time for people to go and pick up the resources. Are these part of it? We're not sure if these are specifically part of it, but pick up resources that having to do with Adventist heritage, having to do with prophecy, Ellen White materials.
Yeah. Anything Daniel and Revelation will be 25% or 15 or 25. Don't quote me.
Okay.
It's in our flyer. Everyone should be getting, I should have brought that. Everyone gets the catalog that has the coupons in the back. But this month
we just
special.
got one at our house a couple of days ago.
Yeah,
it's sitting there waiting for me to open it and look in.
That one has all the specials and promotions that I'm talking about inside of it. I took some extra time and designed a wrap to go around the exterior of the catalog. Learned a lot in that process, since it's been a little while since I've worked with InDesign, but all the specials, all the promotions are in that, so people can see what's going on at the store in their local ABC store.
I think we should point out too that when we say everyone gets one, this would be people that are probably mostly Seventh-day Adventists who are on that mailing list for the Adventist Book Center. So other people can come to the ABC Christian Bookstore for sure. You don't have to be part of this particular faith to find great Christian resources at the ABC.
Right. And if they want to get the catalog, they just let me know and I'll add that to our mailing list.
Okay, so you can add them to it, which would be great. Then they'll know about the sales as well. Okay, very good. Well, we're out of time, but Chrissy, I just want to thank you for giving us this update, telling us again about some really wonderful resources and how we can find them.
Thanks for having me, Lynelle.
And stay tuned, I'll be right back. Welcome back. It's time for the station news portion of our program. And that's when we tell you the things that are happening right now at Blue Mountain Broadcasting Association and with this ministry. I need to remind you that coming right up on Saturday evening, October 22 at 7 p.m. is the wonderful film Tell the World, the story of these early Seventh-day Adventist pioneers. You know, on our interview portion, Christina Meharry-Kinney was just talking about these original books that you can purchase and read what Uriah Smith and Stephen Haskell and others had to say about our faith and about how excited they were with it. Well, we get to meet some of these early characters in this dramatic telling of the beginnings of the Seventh-day Adventist movement during what is historically known as the Second Great Awakening. So you'll want to tune in for that Tell the World film on Saturday night, October 22 at 7 p.m. We have some progress about some fast progress about to happen at our facility on Wallula that contributes to us being able to move in more fully over there. You know, we already have some people working there, but we have a lot of painting to be done in the rooms that are already finished and sort of ready for that phase. And so on Service Day, this is Walla Walla University's Service Day, sponsored by the Center for Humanitarian Engagement. We have 10 plus. We had 10 and we had another person sign up today, so there could be even more. 10 plus students coming over to the Wallula facility where they are going to be painting the walls. And our other volunteers and staff have been working last week and early this week taping off all of the doorways and the windows and the light fixtures and all those things you have to tape off when you're getting ready to paint. So they've done lots and lots of prep work so that those students can come in and just paint like crazy on Wednesday the 19th. So we're really, really excited about that. We're going to be gathering some footage of that activity happening too so that you can see it later. And then remember that we're continuing on with brand new episodes of Secret Life of the Desert, one of our beautiful programs that we're so proud of here at Blue Mountain Television and so grateful for the work that Daniel Biggs and Mike Denny put into this show. And so you can watch the next new episode this Sunday at 7 p.m. And then also that same one will air again Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. and Thursday at 6 p.m. So Secret Life of the Desert, new episode. And now is the time, I always say mark your calendars because I really kind of mean it. I really want you to actually get out your phone and enter stuff into it, or get your paper calendar and get your pen and mark this down. You do not want to miss it. Dee Casper is coming to speak to us here in the Walla Walla Valley. He's a wonderful and energetic and spirit-filled presenter who's going to be sharing with us during our Happy, Healthy, and Saved weekend event. This is a big deal for Blue Mountain Television, and it's going to be taking place at the Walla Walla Valley Auditorium. So that's the location, the WAVA Auditorium. It'll be Friday night, November 4, and Saturday, November 5. This will be starting with a Sabbath school and then a church service in the morning starting at 9:30, and then followed by the afternoon program at 3 o'clock. So not only will we have Dee Casper presenting to us, which will be very inspirational, but we have some of our favorite musicians here at Blue Mountain Television, the Rejoice Trio. So Hannah Schaefer and Eliana Kearns and Tobin Kearns are going to be here together again for the first time in well over a year. And so this is kind of a reunion concert for them, as well as a wonderful opportunity for us to enjoy their inspirational music. So be sure to come for the music, if for no other reason. And while we're on that topic, it's not just Rejoice Trio that will be there, but we'll also have musicians from Rogers Adventist School and from Walla Walla Valley Academy who are going to be sharing with us too during this event. So their orchestra, their praise band, And you won't want to miss seeing those young musicians either. They're so important to our community and to us here at Blue Mountain Television. And right after we have this wonderful weekend, we're going to start our on-air fall fundraiser. So that next day, November 6th, on Sunday evening at 7 p.m., we start the fall fundraiser on air live with Dee Casper and other local hosts from our community who are going to be talking with you about how you can contribute to this ministry. So that will be from 7 to 10 p.m. on November 6, 7, and 8. So just some fantastic times coming up for Blue Mountain Television. Oh, and I forgot to mention, on that Sabbath, on the weekend, not only will we gather for these meetings, but you can come to a potluck at the Wallula facility and see this progress that's happening there for yourself. And I don't know what could be more exciting than that. We're going to be providing spaghetti, and then those who come for the potluck will be bringing salads and breads and desserts. And so we'll have a full meal there, combining what Blue Mountain Television will provide and what you will provide to the potluck. And that will be at that Wallula facility. So be watching for some announcements about that will come across the station. And I want to thank you for watching today and for your gifts to this ministry. I'll see you next time.